I did a little research. I looked into those special sidewalks you mentioned, Mr. Nick.
You did? That's great. I really appreciate it.
A red sidewalk protects a secret the person is consciously trying to hide. If the person falls under questioning, the lock breaks and the truth comes out.
Yep. That's exactly how I got the truth out of Detective Fulbright and Director Cosmos.
But a black sidewalk protects a secret from the deepest place in a person's heart. A secret that that person isn't even consciously aware of.
So even they don't know it's there.
Athena isn't trying to keep anything from me on purpose. For some reason, part of her heart and her memories are sealed off, even from herself.
Okay, so all I have to do is break the psych-locks.
According to my research, a black psych lock is like a heavy chain wrapped directly around one's heart. If they are ripped off by force, it could cause permanent damage to a person's soul.
In other words, if I'm not careful, I could traumatize Athena for good. Pearls, could you stay by Athena's side? She must be suffering under the weight of such a heavy burden.
Alright, but will you be alright by yourself, Mr. Nick?
I'm up against Edgeworth. I have to be able to give this trial all of my focus and strength.
And you can't do that if I'm there. I'll just hold you back.
No, that's not it. I just meant I can relax and concentrate if I knew you were with Athena. You're the only one who can do it, Pearls.
Alright, I'll do it then. Good luck, Mr. Nick.
Good. Now that my mind is at ease, I'd better get ready. I'll just tidy up the evidence and take out what I don't need. It's time to end the nightmare that started 7 years ago. Defense, prosecution, judge. There are even people in the gallery. The roof has been completely blown off and the walls have collapsed. But today, this ruin is my battleground.
Court, or some facsimile thereof, is now in session for the trial of Athena Sykes.
Hold it! Not a facsimile, old man. This is a proper, official trial. Take this more seriously, or you'll start hearing the bones of the hostages snap.
Please try not to upset Miss Blackwell. I'm begging you.
Court is now in session for the very serious and very proper trial of Athena Sykes.
This is no trial. It's nothing more than a ridiculous farce.
What did you say?
Edgeworth, did you not hear what I just said to His Honor?
However, this ridiculous farce has a very important meaning for our legal system. Recall the case of the UR1 incident in which a prosecutor was found guilty of murder. That case ushered in the odious dark age of the law.
I see what you're after. If we can find the real truth behind that case today.
Precisely. The darkness will be dispelled and glory shall be restored to the court system.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, you sound as if you know something of this truth.
I do indeed. A new suspect has emerged in the UR1 case. For 7 years, Simon Blackwell has refused to speak in order to cover for someone else.
Brace yourself, Phoenix. Here it comes.
I'm sorry, Ryan. The situation is what it is, and I must do what I must. The prosecution moves to indict Athena Sykes on the count of murder in the first degree. Regardless of the circumstance, I intend to question the defendant with all I have. For that is a part of my creed.
Then you better bring it.
If the two of you are ready. Court is now in session for the trial of Athena Sykes.
Your Honor, the defense
The
was born
prosecution
ready.
is also ready.
This immense tension between us. It's like we're picking up right where we left off.
It's my duty to clear Professor Blackwell of false accusations and end this insanity.
But I have no intention of losing Miss Sykes either. She's a very promising young lawyer. I know without a doubt that Athena is innocent. But I don't think Prosecutor Blackwell did it either. So, do you have any clue who was responsible for the sabotage?
At the very least, I know it wasn't Simon Blackwell. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit, but it's clear what that person is. To put it simply, a spy.
The true culprit is a spy. It's going to be hard to convince everyone of that when I barely believe it myself. But I don't have a choice if I want to save Athena and Blackwell and expose the spy.
Now then, Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth.
No need for the Chief Prosecutor bit, Your Honor. I am here as a simple prosecutor.
Very well. Your opening statement, please, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Although I've been known of late to give an impressive opening statement myself.
In all the trials I've ever seen, only the prosecution gives an opening statement.
Of course, you're right. I was just joking, just having a little fun.
So he wasn't doing them just out of fear. Interesting.
Let's start with a brief overview of the UR1 incident. The incident occurred at the Cosmos Space Center 7 years ago, on October 7th. The victim, psychologist Meta Sykes, was killed in the robotics lab on the 4th floor.
Athena's mother.
Simon Blackwell, a young prosecutor at the time, was found guilty of the crime. There were two deciding factors that led to this guilty verdict. 1. Blackwell was the only person in the corridor to the lab at the time of the murder. And 2. This photo, which captured the moment of the crime.
Very incriminating evidence indeed. It would appear that the only conclusion is that Prosecutor Blackwell did indeed—
Hold it! Are you kidding me? I'm not accepting any conclusion of the kind. This opening statement is over. Now hurry up and call the witness.
Excuse me, Miss Blackwell, but we must follow proper procedure for these things, you know.
Or perhaps we should heed her wishes, Your Honor. She is the trial's sponsor, after all. Besides, the courtroom is chilly, and sitting for too long can't be good for your back.
Oh, you are very kind to show such concern for the welfare of the elderly.
As skilled as ever at playing the court puppeteer, I see.
The prosecution calls its first witness. A witness who decided to bring forth new testimony after 7 long years.
New testimony? And just who is this witness anyway?
Bobby Fulbright's the name. In justice we trust.
What are you doing here?
I'm just here to speak for the hostage taker, Miss Aura Blackwell. She says she's too busy, what with confining and threatening the hostages and all.
It doesn't seem to stop her from constantly chiming in through Klonko.
I'm nothing more than an observer in this. Do your best. I'm watching you.
Believing her brother innocent, Miss Blackwell has been conducting her own investigation. And though her current actions are hardly lawful, I think we can at least hear her theory.
I have here Miss Blackwell's notes on the investigation she conducted. And I'll be giving testimony based on those notes. Here I go! Simon isn't the murderer. He was trying to cover for someone. Someone else was at the crime scene at the time they say Simon committed the murder. I mean, if he really was out to steal that moon rock, then why the rolling case? Because he was using it to hide someone inside. That's why. And the only person small enough to fit inside that case was Athena Sykes! And that's Miss Blackwell's theory. It totally goes in the face of the official ruling, huh? About the case she mentions, there were other rolling cases like that one in the lab. But they're not for traveling. They're apparently for moving parts and equipment.
I vaguely remember seeing 3 cases, all different sizes.
At the last trial, they thought Prosecutor Blackwell used the case to steal the rock. And they had a perfectly good reason to think that too. You see, there's a security camera in the corridor that leads to the robotics lab. And that camera captured footage of Blackwell leaving the scene with the case.
I can see why that footage helped to bring this trial to a quick end. It's very convincing, that's for sure.
That case, by the way, was later discovered outside on the Space Center grounds.
Speaking of after the incident, where was the defendant Athena Sykes found?
She was found on the 5th floor of the Space Center in the Sykes family residence. Prosecutor Blackwell most likely brought her there after the incident. In addition, it's unknown where Miss Sykes was at the estimated time of death.
Miss Sykes was too confused by the shock of her mother's death to give proper testimony. And there was no witness or evidence to tell us where she might have been.
So what you're saying is, Miss Sykes didn't have an alibi?
That is what the evidence is saying, yes.
I understand the reasoning behind the theory, but I'm far from convinced. The victim is the accused's mother. Are you actually claiming an 11-year-old girl?
Of course, the girl had a very strong motive.
Dr. Sykes was a psychologist who wrote many papers about speech and emotions. You're aware of Athena Sykes' special ability, aren't you, Your Honor? Are you referring to that therapy thing? Yes, she's done it quite a few times in court.
The ability to read emotions from speech, and the subject of her mother's research.
Well, as long as it benefits society, I don't see any particular problem researching it.
I don't like where this is heading. Not one bit.
Dr. Sykes was so intent on her research, she forced her daughter to undergo experiments.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, are you seriously suggesting?
I've done my best to be delicate, but even you can't deny it to be true, Mr. Wright. No longer able to withstand the anguish of the experiments, Miss Sykes felt her only choice was to kill her own mother.
Ah!
Order! Order in the court! What a tragic story. I hardly want to believe it myself. But we must proceed. Mr. Wright, if you could. Detective Fulbright, please refer to the notes. It would appear that the only conclusion is that Prosecutor Blackwell did indeed— Oh, for fuck's sake, why do you keep screaming while I'm talking? It would appear that the only conclusion is that Prosecutor Blackwell did indeed murder every single person in this building, myself included. I am a ghost. I'm sorry, Edgeworth, but I thought we were in a courtroom, not playing a game of kiss-ass. Someone else was at the scene at the time they say Simon committed the murder. I almost thought that said muscles. Oh dear. I would like to see those muscles too, Prosecutor Blackwell. Alright, try that again.